Hold on, let me get the music. She's not all here. Okay, here we go. We'll start with some music. I can't even hear it. do 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 do. Do 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 do. 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 Doodly do. Doodly do. Doodly do do do. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop the music because frankly, it's not really fair. It's not really fair. Okay, hold on. There we go. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I know I'm looking a little rough today. I don't know what's going on with the hair. It's just, it needs some help. That's all right. It's just hair. Who cares? Who cares about hairs? Wait, I gotta see. This is even live. I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hairs. Imagine if it had to be hairs for plural. Wow. I feel like my mic keeps going in and out. I might be pulling on something. Da 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 da. Scoobily doo. Hello to the one person. Oh, there's nobody watching. Oh, there's one person watching. Hello. It isn't me anyone's looking for. That's okay. I've been down that road before. It's okay. I'll read to myself. It's okay. I'll just read it to myself. I'm kidding. All right. Let me see if I can pull this up and actually see it, because that's gonna be key. Hold on. Where is it? Where's my? Wah. Hello. Is it me? Where's my frickin' window capture? Oh, window capture. I love you. Oh, why are you so small? You're so tiny and little that I can't see you. And I can't see what you're doing. And you're way too big. Why does it do this to me? Window capture. Stop being a jerk, can't you see? Why are you so fucking big? Right. It sounds like document porn. Why is it so big? Sorry. I haven't had enough coffee or enough weed. I don't know how to make it. I'm sure there's like this fucking like command you push to make it smaller, but the OBS gods have not decided to teach me that one yet. I don't know what I'm doing. Hi. Bye, everybody. Okay, maybe I should make it like not visible while I'm doing this nonsense. Okay, wait. What's that? Why isn't it fitting in there? Oh, I know why. Never mind. Hold on. I know why. Bitch. Oh, my bitches is wrong. Oh, I could have gotten this taken care of before, but I didn't. Okay, let me see if it works now. No, it still doesn't. Why does it want to make it so big? Can you resize it, please? I'm scared. Oh, okay. Well, that's better, I guess. Okay. Weirdos. Okay. Well, that's not going to work for you guys, but we'll make it work. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Whoa. I didn't mean to move you. All right, let's do that. I do need to make this a little bigger. I don't know. What's that doing? Is that working? Is it working? Uh-oh. See, I'm really delayed, so let me look and make sure that this is working. Yeah, okay, that works. Great. Fabs. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay. So, good day. Good day, those who might be watching right now and those who may be watching later. Welcome to the Daily Down Lolo. Sorry, usually I have music, but I didn't this time. So, I've been meaning to read this. I've been meaning to read quite a few things, but I have been too lazy to do it and have instead been napping. So what I thought I would do today is force myself to sit upright and read this document. And I wanted to read the NAUDA document, the one that's heavily redacted, because I haven't read that yet, but I don't think I probably won't get to that in this session, but maybe in another session. Because I don't think we have many court dates this week. And Congress seems to be on spring break, I think. Still? So I don't get it. I don't really get it. I don't see much on the horizon, but if somebody does see stuff on the horizon, let me know. I have the master calendar pulled up, and I really didn't see anything coming up. I think we have something. No. I don't know what. Anyway. Anyways. So I'm going to read this document. This is the Arizona indictment. I have not read it yet, so it's a cold read. So don't get mad at me if I fuck it up. Okay? All right. Media literacy, folks. Read the source documents. Okay. I'll have to keep an eye on chat from over here. Hold on. Okay. Great. All right. Let's go. In the Superior Court of the State of Arizona, in and for the County of Maricopa, State of Arizona, against all these people. Oof, 9 counts. Ooh, ouch. Ouchie McGouchie. Kelly Ward. Oh, I have a great video of Kelly Ward. Tyler Bauer, I don't know that name really. Nancy Cottle, I know that name. Jacob Hoffman, I remember that name. Anthony Kern, I remember that name. I don't really remember all these people and what they did. Kelly, I remember, but not these. But here's the indictment, charging violations of count 1 of conspiracy, a class 2 felony. Count 2, fraudulent schemes and artifices, class 2 felony. Count 3, fraudulent schemes and practices, a class 5 felony. Is that higher than or lesser than a class 2? And then we've got James Lamone. I don't know that name. Robert Montgomery. I remember that name. Samuel Moorhead. Lorraine Pellegrino. Does she drink Pellegrino? That's what I want to know. Hi, easily distracted. How are you? Gregory Safston. No, I don't know him. Michael Ward. I don't know him either. All right. So then they have counts 4 through 9 are forgery, class 4 felonies in violation of all these things. And then there's the redacted names. Oh, womp. Okay, 93rd State Grand Jury accuses Kelly Ward and all the rest of those morons, charging on this 23rd day of April 2024 that blah, 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 count 1 from on or about November 3rd, 2020, and continuing through on or about January 6th, Kelly Ward and the rest of these morons, with the intent to promote or aid in the commission of an offense, agreed with one and or more persons, known and or unknown, that at least one of them or another person would engage in conduct constituting one or more of the following offenses in particular. By the way, I think person 16 is Boris Epstein. That's what I think. Yeah, Boris. Busted bitch. You're busted, biatch. I'm going to see if I can... You know what? I need a little stand for my phone. Now Okay. I'm gonna MacGyver my way to a phone stand. Oh, no, I'm not. That's not going to work. Oh, it was such a good idea in my head. But it's not. It's not a good idea. Okay. Yeah, I think person 16 in the Nauta case is Boris Epstein. Because Boris is very gossipy, and the person was apparently very gossipy. Now, Michael Popak said it wasn't a lawyer, and Boris is technically a lawyer, but he's not really a lawyer. He's kind of a bad lawyer, I guess. I don't know. But he, to me, could be like, I'm going to save my testicles first. Okay, so with the intent that they wanted more of the following offenses, in particular, all the things I mentioned above, really, really bad. In furtherance of this conspiracy and to effect the foregoing objects thereof, all these morons and their co-conspirators did commit one or more of the following overt acts, including but not limited to the overt acts described in counts 2 through 9 in section 2 of this indictment, which is incorporated herein by reference as if set forth in full, in violation of all of these things. Bad. So then count 2 is, yep, they did all these things, and then pursuant to a scheme or artifice to defraud, knowingly obtained any benefit by means of fake or fraudulent pretenses, representations, promises, or material omissions, to wit, preventing the lawful transfer of the presidency of the United States. Ouch. Keeping President Donald J. Trump in office against the will of Arizona voters. Yikes. And depriving Arizona voters of their right to vote and have their votes counted under the United States Constitution. All these other state things by means involving, but not limited to, the acts described in Section 2, blah, 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 blah. Man, count 3, and that's just count 2. Count 3, from November 3rd and continuing on to January 6th, in the matter related to the business conducted by any department or agency of this state or political subdivision thereof, Kelly Ward and all her fucking idiots, pursuant to a scheme to artifice or defraud or deceive, knowingly falsified, concealed, or covered up a material fact by any trick, scheme, or device made or used any false writing or document, knowing such writing or document contained any false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or entry, to wit, 2 certificates of votes for President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Michael Pence, filed by the Arizona Republican electors with the Arizona Secretary of State, involving but not limited to the acts described in Section 2 in violation of all these things. And that's just count 3. Count 4, from, those dates and all those idiots, falsely made, completed, or altered a written instrument and or offered or presented, whether accepted or not, a forged instrument or one that contained false information, to wit, a certificate of votes for President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Michael Pence, filed by the Arizona Republican electors with the President of the United States Senate, involving but not limited to the acts described in all that shit that I said. And count 5. Same dates, same idiots. Falsely made, completed, or altered a written instrument and or offered and presented, whether accepted or not, a forged instrument to one that contained false information, to wit, one of 2 certificates of votes for President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Michael Pence, filed by the Arizona Republican electors with the Arizona Secretary of State, involving but not limited to what I said before. Count 6. Same things. Falsely made or completed or altered a written instrument and or offered and presented, whether accepted or not. Blah, 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 blah. It just goes, whoa. I need you a little bigger, thank you. So there. All right, count 7. From on or about, blah, 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 everybody and their brothers, falsely made, da-da-da, whether accepted or not, dee-da-boo, blah, 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 bric-a-brac. Count 8. Same thing, same people, same idiots, same corner, same deal. Oh, but this one, falsely made, completed, or written instrument and or offered or presented, whether accepted or not, a forged instrument or one that contained false information, to wit, the second of 2 certificates of votes for President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Michael Pence, filed by the Arizona Republican electors with the Archivist of the United States. Contingent my ass. Contingent my ass, same thing. Count 9, beep bop. and filed by the Arizona Republican electors with the chief judge of the federal district court for the District of Arizona. Yes. They not only created all of those fake documents, they sent them to everyone and his brother. Oh, good. Oh, great. Glad to hear it, Mr. Smith. Welcome, welcome. That's the goal. Media literacy and a little bit of ASMR. Well, well, well. Aren't these people cute? All right. Section 2, the conspiracy and scheme. In Arizona and the United States, the people elected Joseph Biden as president on November 3rd, 2020. Unwilling to accept this fact, defendants and unindicted co-conspirators schemed to prevent the lawful transfer of the presidency to keep unindicted co-conspirator 1, we know who that is, in office against the will of Arizona's voters. This scheme would have deprived Arizona voters of their right to vote and have their votes counted. After the general election on November 3rd, 2020, defendants raised fake claims of widespread election fraud in Arizona to pressure election officials to change the outcome of a Democratic election. Those efforts failed when the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, Secretary of State, and the governor certified, and he was a Republican, certified Arizona's election. Republican presidential elector defendants then voted for President Donald Trump and Vice President Michael Pence on December 14th, 2020. Falsely claiming to be the, quote, duly elected and qualified electors for President and Vice President of the United States from the state of Arizona. Defendants deceived the citizens of Arizona by falsely claiming that those votes were contingent only on a legal challenge that would change the outcome of the election. In reality, defendants intended that their false votes for Trump-Pence would encourage Pence to reject the Biden-Harris votes on January 6, 2021, regardless of the outcome of the legal challenge. When combined with the 6 other states where Republican electors sent in uncertified votes for Trump-Pence, defendants wanted Pence to either declare unindicted co-conspirator 1 the winner of the election, delay the proceeding and have individual state legislatures determine their electors, or have Congress resolve any claimed uncertainty about the validity of the election results in Arizona and 6 other states in unindicted co-conspirator 1's favor. The scheme failed when Vice President Mike Pence accepted all the certified Biden-Harris votes on January 6, 2021. Background on the presidential election procedures. Defendants deceived the public by arguing the scheme to have Republican electors vote for Trump-Pence in Arizona and 6 other states was legal. Thus, background on presidential election laws is necessary to understand the scheme. Presidential elections happen on the first Tuesday of November, following the first Monday every 4 years. In 2020, the presidential election fell on November 3rd, 2020. Unindicted co-conspirator 1, let's just call him Dump, ran for re-election with then Vice President Fly against now President Biden and now Vice President Harris, who will be re-elected again this fall. Oops, that's not in there. The popular vote does not determine the president. Instead, the Constitution of the United States provides that electors select the president and vice president of the United States. The system is known as the Electoral College. In the Electoral College, each state and the District of Columbia determines how presidential electors are selected, and each state's presidential electors equals the numbers of the state's congressional delegation. With the exception of Maine and Nebraska, all states award their entire allotment of presidential electors to the person who won the popular vote in that state. A simple majority of presidential electors then selects the president and vice president. There are 538 electors, so it takes 270 votes to win. The Electoral Count of 1887, ECA, which was in place in 2020, provides the procedure for selecting the president and vice president in the Electoral College. The ECA first required that each state determine the presidential electors at least 6 days before the electors vote. The determination is called a certificate of ascertainment and must be issued by the executive officer of each state. Under the ECA, each state's presidential electors meet and vote on the first Monday after the second Wednesday in December. In 2020, the electors met and voted on December 14th. This also meant the last date for the certificate of ascertainment was December 8th, 2020. The electors must send the certificates of their votes, along with the certificate of ascertainment, as follows: 1 copy to the President of the Senate, 2 copies to the Chief Election Officer of their state, 2 copies to the Archivist of the United States, and 1 copy to the Chief Judge of the Federal District Court where the electors assembled. The ECA then provided that the Vice President, sitting as the President of the Senate, hold a joint session of Congress on January 6 following the election. At that joint session, the vice president was directed to open the presidential elector votes in alphabetical order by state so the votes could be counted. After the votes are counted, the vice president declares the next president and vice president. Arizona has 9 congressional seats and 2 senators, so it has 11 votes in the Electoral College. Each political party selects its own presidential electors, and state law provides that Arizona's presidential electors are awarded based on the winner of the popular vote in Arizona. The law provides that presidential electors cannot vote for anyone other than the certified winner of the election. Arizona law first requires that counties count the votes in their respective counties following the election. Determining the vote count is called a canvass. Once complete, the county boards of supervisors must certify the canvass and report the results to the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State must then determine the statewide vote totals and certify the winner of all general elections on the 4th Monday following the general election. In 2020, that date was November 30th. Let me just check the chat. Hi, Gal. Hi, Tom. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Tom. Missed you Friday. It was pretty funny. But we'll have another funny one. Actually, I think I'm going to get back in the kitchen this Friday. I think it's time to... I want to make that butter. I still have my butter churner. I still need to unbox my butter churn. Okay, here we go. Defendants, Arizona fake electors. Here we go. Here's the cast of characters. Here we go, people. In 2020, the following defendants were selected as Arizona Republican Party presidential electors. Kelly Ward was the chair of the Arizona Republican Party. She looks great in a shift dress. She likes to wear a mini style. She organized the fake electors vote on December 14, 2020, and voted for Trump Pence as a fake elector, falsely stating that she was duly elected and qualified. After voting, Ward declared that the Arizona Republican electors as the true electors. She later urged Pence to accept the false electoral votes for Trump Pence on January 6. She did not withdraw her vote, even though no legal challenge successfully changed the outcome of Arizona's 2020 presidential election. Kelly's living in denial. And hopefully she'll be living in a prison cell. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, I think it would be. Tyler Bauer also voted for Trump Pence as a fake elector, stating and making those false statements. Let's see what else he did. Indicating that he intended to have Pence accept the false electoral votes for Trump Pence on January 6th. Oh, and he did not withdraw. Nancy Cottle was the chairperson of the Arizona Republican presidential electors. Oh my goodness, what a great honorific. She voted for Trump Pence as a fake elector on December 14th, making those false statements, and is terrible. Jacob Hoffman was a representative elected in the Arizona legislature in November 2020. Oh, so he won his election. But he didn't think that Biden won his. So, okay. Wow. Following his vote as an Arizona Republican elector, he urged Pence in a letter dated January 5th, 2020. Well, this guy really was balls deep in this, wasn't he? To delay accepting Arizona's certified Democrat elector votes on January 6th in Washington. Yeah, Hoffman. Okay, I'm gonna pay attention to you, Jacob. You're my new favorite. Anthony Kern was a member of the Arizona legislature who had lost his bid for re-election. Oops, a little bit of sour grapes. So Kern voted for Trump Pence as a fake elector, and he continued to urge Arizona officials and Pence to accept the Arizona Republican electors on January 6th. He didn't withdraw his vote either. Well, that's probably a theme. James Lamone voted for Trump Pence, didn't withdraw, and apparently was one of the only morons not to write a letter. Robert Montgomery also was a moron, and he falsely stated all kinds of shit, but was smart enough not to reach out to anybody. Okay, Samuel Moorhead, same thing. He did not withdraw his vote. Lorraine Pellegrino, drinking that water. Secretary of the Arizona Republican fake presidential electors. I hope it looks good on the resume, Lorraine. Let me just tell you that. She voted for Trump Pence as a fake elector. She did not withdraw. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Gregory Safston was the executive director of the Arizona Republican Party. He helped Kelly Ward organize the fake electors vote on December 14th, 2020, and voted for Trump Pence as a fake elector. Blah, blah, blah. Michael Ward voted for Trump Pence as a fake elector. He did not withdraw his vote. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Defendants' attempts to declare unindicted co-conspirator 1 dump and fly. The winners of the 2020 presidential election, contrary to the voter intent and the law, involved numerous other charged and uncharged co-conspirators. The following is a brief summary of the remaining defendants' roles in the scheme to keep unindicted co-conspirator 1 in office against the will of Arizona voters. Blank. Rupi Giuliani, Julie Rudiani, Judy Ruliani, Balls Team. Hi, Paul. Balls Team. Sans butter. Is that what you said? I can't even see that. Watched most of the replay. Cows have 4. Cows have 4 boobs. I know. You would have known that, Tom. Actually, I think we asked for you during that segment on Friday, didn't we? We asked if there... I said, where's Tom? We have a question about cows. I think you're a farmer. You know that stuff. Okay. All right. So this is Judy Ruliani, an attorney for Dump, who often identified as the mayor. He spread false claims of election fraud in Arizona, and nationally shortly after November 3rd, he presided over a hearing in downtown Phoenix on November 30th. We watched that, I think, where he falsely claimed that Arizona's election officials have made no effort to find out if the results of a recent presidential election were accurate. He pressured the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors and Arizona legislators to change the outcome of Arizona's election, and he was responsible for encouraging Republican electors in Arizona and 6 other states. Put this fucker in prison right now. Like, just fucking don't. He's had due process. His whole fucking life has been due process. Jesus Christ on a cracker. Okay, here we go. Number 2 was Blanky Blank was an attorney who encouraged the Republican electors to vote on December 14th and spread false claims of widespread election fraud. He also pressured the legislature to change. For example, on January 4th, he pushed then Arizona Speaker House Rusty Bowers to convene a special session. So was that Sidney? Is that Sidney Powell? I don't know who's who. Jacob Chansley was there. No, it's not Jacob Chansley. It's Jacob someone else. Remnant. Oh, God, I got to put my glasses on. I don't want to. I'm so sick of vision. No. Those are sunglasses. Oh, here we go. Let me see what's going on. Whoops. I almost always put people in Remnant 12. 12 stomachs. Do they? I think they have 3. Sans butter with sour grapes. Bill Bob Bell. Ruminant stomachs have 4 compartments. The rumen, the reticulum. Oh, well, that may come up handy in a future trivia session. Why is Lemmick secretly meeting with the sanctimonious? Oh, because he needs him. Oh, Chansley was at the Phoenix hearing. Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. I remember. Jacob the shaman makes an entrance. Okay, so I don't know which attorney this is. Is this Sidney Powell? Who reached out to Rusty Bowers? Do we know? Bowers declined to do so. Also on January 4th, blankety blank met at the White House with Dump, Pence. So was that Eastman? Clark? Eastman, Clark, or also Ken, wait, what the fuck is his name? Ken Olson. Kurt Olson. Kurt Olson has to be somewhere in this mix, right? I wish I was smarter. I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, so we've got a lawyer that I'm not entirely sure who it is, but I think it's either Sidney Powell, John Eastman. No, it's not John Eastman. I don't think he was in the White House on January 4th. Who was on the White House on January 4th? Was that Sidney? No. Who was at the White House on January 4th? Cheese, bro. God damn it. That's the only one I didn't say. Fuck. Not the Kodak Eastmans. All right, so Cheese Bros number 2. Thank you, Gal. I'm sorry. I should know this more. But I've never read this. Blank was an attorney and was an advisor to the Trump campaigns in 2016 and 2020. Blank is in implementing a scheme to submit fake Republican electors. Trump. Da, 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 da. So number 3, is that Boris? Cheddar cheese, bro. Is that so? Is number 3 Boris? Oh, she made. I'm sorry. Wait. Okay. Let me make sure I'm. Wait. I'm so confused. All right. So that we know is Rudy. That. God, I'm getting myself confused now. I should be making like notes on this. Okay. Was an advisor to the Trump campaigns in 2016. That's Boris, right? This is Boris. Number 3. This guy, Boris. Let's see. Blank was an attorney for the Trump campaign and worked closely with Blank. She made false claims of widespread election fraud in 6 other states. That's Sydney Powell, right? That's Sydney. That's got to be Sydney. That's got to be Sydney. I say this is Boris. This is Sydney. Blank was an attorney for the Trump campaign and worked closely with Blank, lobbied Arizona's Republican legislators after their 2020 presidential election, disregard the popular vote she additionally helped organize. So is this Clita? Is this Clita? Someone has a list. Oh, yeah, probably. All right. Well, okay. I'm just going to go on then, and I'll find the list in a minute. Well, actually, let me find the list right now. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I'll find the list right now. List of AZ unindicted co-conspirator. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Okay. Hold on. Wait. Oh, this is totally different. Totally different than. I really fucking hate this fucking website. Okay. I don't care if these fucking papers, they need to just charge more. I'll buy it if you get rid of this shit. Okay, 1 is that. Number 2 is Kelly Townsend. I blew that one. Look, wow, she's so mad. Mark Fincham, fighting Fincham. Fight him like Fincham. Fight him like Fincham, yeah. Jenna Ellis, hitting 3-point shots from full. Yeah, I wish I was Steph Curry. Okay, so there we go. Now, okay, Kenneth Chesbro. Okay, so there's Cheese Brother. There he is. Jack Willencheck. I have no idea who that is. Unindicted co-conspirator 5 is portrayed in the indictment as an Arizona attorney who worked for the Trump campaign and helped set up the December 14, 2020 vote by the 11 electors. This attorney also previously represented state Republican Party and Kelly Ward in a lawsuit that challenged the validity of Arizona's 11 Democratic electors. Huh. Interesting. This description matches an Arizona attorney who helped organize the fake electors meeting. Okay. So that's number 5. Oh, well, where's the other ones? Meh. Meh. Okay, fine. All right, let's see here. Well, so none of them are Boris. None of them are Boris or Jenna. I'm confused. All right, maybe this is different. Okay. Lobbied American. Okay. Was the director, Blank was the director of election day operations for the Trump campaign. He worked closely with Blank, unindicted co-conspirator 4, and others to organize the fake electors. Blank was unindicted co-conspirator 1's chief of staff. Oh, that's Mark Meadows. I'm very confused. What? Wait, what? The following are a list of unindicted. Okay. Is this the same thing again? Is that the same? Okay, fine. I can't. I don't even know. I'm very confused, but that's okay. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. The presidential election. The 2020 presidential election. We'll figure out the list later. There are smarter people figuring out the list. The 2020 presidential election occurred during a global pandemic. In response to the pandemic, many states had expanded mail-in voting, and that expanded mail-in voting delayed the final vote. As states continued to count votes after Election Day on November 3rd, it became apparent that Biden would win and unindicted Dump would lose the election. Dump had suggested before the election that expanded mail-in voting was, quote, very dangerous because mail-in ballots are, quote, fraudulent in many cases. Those statements turned into claims of outright fraud immediately following the election. While Dump himself was unwilling, to accept that he lost the election, Blank had confided in a White House staff member in early November 2020 that Dump had lost the election. Nevertheless, Dump wanted to keep fighting the election results, and Blankety Blank wanted to pull this off for Dump. Arizona was ultimately decided by 10,457 votes, or 0.31% of the ballots cast. Biden won by small margins in 5 other states: Georgia, 11,779 votes, or 20.24%. Michigan, 154,188 votes, or 2.78%. Nevada, 33,596 votes, or 2.39%. Pennsylvania, 81,555 votes, or 1.16%. And Wisconsin, 20,681 votes, or 0.63%. Excluding Nevada, Excluding Nevada, these states all had Republican-controlled legislatures in 2020. New Mexico, where Biden won by a wider margin, 99,720 votes, or 10.79%, also had a Democrat-controlled legislature in 2020. These 7 states became the focus of legal challenges and false claims of widespread election fraud. Arizona election lawsuits. In Arizona, multiple parties filed election lawsuits after November 3rd. All were unsuccessful, but some were still pending on December 14th, when the Arizona Republican electors assembled to vote. None of these lawsuits would have changed the outcome of the election. The first suit, Aguilera v. Fontes, Maricopa County Superior Court, number blah, 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 was filed the day following the election based on complaints about electronic ballot counting from 2 voters. It was dismissed by the court on November 29, 2020, for failure to state a claim on which relief could be granted. An appeal was filed on December 29, 2020, which was eventually denied on June 15, 2021, for lack of jurisdiction. The Trump campaign next filed a suit on November 8, 2020, in Trump v. Hobbs, Maricopa County Superior Court, blah. The claims relating to the presidential election were dismissed 5 days later because the lawsuit would not have changed the outcome of the election. That prompted Kelly Ward to text Blank, "What the fuck?" or "What the hell?" and ask Blank, quote, "Are our lawyers in AZ afraid of being blackballed by the left?" and conclude, "It sounds like a total cop-out." Like that's a total cop-out. The Arizona Republican Party sued Adrian Fontes, then the Maricopa County Recorder, on November 12, 2020, in Arizona Republican Party v. Fontes, Maricopa County, blah. The court dismissed the claim 6 days later, finding the Arizona Republican Party's case was meritless. It was not appealed. Kelly Ward sued all 11 Democrat Party electors on November 30th, 2020, in Ward v. Jackson, Maricopa County Superior Court, blah. Phoenix-based Trump campaign attorney, unindicted co-conspirator 5, told all 11 Arizona Republican electors, quote, "Please be aware that while I will be representing you in name as presidential electors, I am also the attorney for the Arizona Republican Party and Donald J. Trump for President, Inc., and that he was waiting on, quote, Giuliani to personally approve the lawsuit." All 11 electors agreed to join the suit, but for, quote, legal optical reasons, Kelly was the only plaintiff. The court dismissed the suit on December 4, 2020, finding that Maricopa County officials followed the process for signature verification faithfully in 2020 and found no misconduct, no fraud, and no effect on the outcome of the election. The court additionally found that, quote, the evidence did not prove illegal votes, much less enough to affect the outcome of the election, and that Kelly Ward has not proven that the Biden-Harris ticket did not receive the highest number of votes. Kelly Ward appealed to the Arizona Supreme Court on December 4, 2020. The court denied her appeal, writing that the allegations in the suit were not sufficient to call the election results into question, that there are no allegations of any violation of the EPM Election Procedures Manual or any Arizona law, and that the challenge failed to present any evidence of misconduct, illegal votes, or that the Biden electors did not in fact receive the highest number of votes for office, let alone establish any degree of fraud or a sufficient error rate that would undermine the certainty of the election results. So you see, folks, there is no reason to doubt our elections. It is unreasonable to restrict access to voting through mail-in and ballot drop boxes and all other means because there isn't a problem. Now, if the Republicans decide they want to create a problem, maybe that's where we're going with this. Well, which they certainly tried. Let's see. At the request of the Trump campaign, number 5 expedited an appeal to the United States Supreme Court before December 14, 2020. Is that Chesbro? Maybe I don't know who that was. I'm all confused. He later wrote to a Pennsylvania attorney, quote, also, just FYI, I recall now there was a rush to file our petition in order to give legal cover for the electors in AZ to vote on the 14th. All 11 Arizona Republican electors and others sued Governor Doug Ducey on December 2nd, 2020, in Arizona Federal District Court case Bowyer versus Ducey, blah, blah, blah. The court dismissed their complaint on December 9th, finding that the plaintiff's claims, quote, fail in their particularity and plausibility, and that their expert reports reach implausible conclusions, often because they are derived from wholly unreliable sources. I love that sentence. The plaintiffs appealed to the Ninth Circuit the following day, and the appeal was dismissed on April 13th, 2021. 2 other election lawsuits were filed in Arizona: Stevenson v. Ducey, Maricopa County Superior Court, and Burke v. Ducey, Pinal County Superior Court. The plaintiffs in Stevenson voluntarily dismissed their case on December 7th. Both the trial court on December 15th and later the Arizona Supreme Court on January 5th concluded that the plaintiff in Burke lacked standing to sue because she was not registered to vote. Okay. Pressure on Arizona election officials. In Arizona, defendants, unindicted co-conspirators, and others pressured the 3 groups of election officials responsible for certifying election results to encourage them to change the election results: the Maricopa Board of Supervisors, the Arizona Legislature, and the governor. This pressure campaign was initially focused on the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. As it became clear that they would not change the election results, the pressure campaign moved to the Arizona Legislature and Governor Ducey. For the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, oversees elections in Maricopa County. In 2020, the Board of Supervisors had 5 members, 4 of which were Republican: Steve Chukri, Bill Gates, Clint Hickman, and Jack Sellers. Almost immediately after the election, Kelly Ward sent messages to each of the Republican members suggesting serious election fraud and malfeasance had occurred. Kelly Ward urged the supervisors to delay certifying Maricopa's county results. She urged the Republican supervisors to contact lawyers associated with the Trump campaign about the alleged election fraud. Blank unindicted co-conspirators and others tried to contact the Republican supervisors. For example, an Arizona congressional representative sent a text message to Blank on November 8th that he had placed some calls to the Board of Supervisors without connecting so far, later writing, I can give you some idea of what's going on with the county supervisors. Kelly Ward sent Blank a text message on November 13th, 2020, just talk to POTUS. He may call the chairman of the Maricopa Board of Supervisors, who was then Clint Hickman. Hickman later received a call from the White House switchboard on New Year's Eve, but he did not answer. I remember that. By mid-November, the Tea Party Phoenix Metro sent an email to its subscriber list, which included Safston, stating, quote, by the way, if the Electoral College doesn't result in 270 electoral votes for either presidential candidate, the 12th Amendment is exercised, and guess what? Trump wins, because the House didn't go the way the Dems counted on it going, and our republic is saved from the globalists. It then encouraged members to rally at the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors building to, quote, stop the AZ Steal protest rally against the County Board of Supervisors certifying the election results. The Maricopa County Board of Supervisors unanimously certified the results of the election in November 2020. Some defendants posted on social media urging others to contact the Maricopa Board of Supervisors about delaying certification of the election. Following such post, others publicly attacked the Republican Board of Supervisors, including threatening the supervisors and their families. On December 15, 2020, the Senate Judiciary Committee subpoenaed Maricopa County's voting machines. Blank was interviewed about the subpoena and stated that it was intended to, quote, start forensically examining the voting machines in Arizona. The Board of Supervisors sued to quash the subpoenas on December 18, 2020 in Maricopa v. Fawn and Maricopa County Superior Court. All 11 Republican electors moved to join the suit on behalf of the legislature, recognizing that a possible goal of the subpoenas was to, quote, ensure that their rivals, the Democratic Party's electors, are not considered by Congress. After filing a motion to intervene, Kern wrote, quote, great move, GOP electors, all 11 of us, smiley face. Promoting a post by the Republican Party of Arizona arguing that, quote, the legislature should use its power to hold them, the Board of Supervisors, in contempt and throw them in jail. No problem. Throughout December, Blank then urged the Republican members of the Board of Supervisors to assist in obtaining the vote counting machines and ballots. In a voice message to Gates on Christmas Eve, for example, boy, these people like to call on holidays. Do they not have families? Blank asked to get access to the vote counting machines and ballots, stating, quote, you know, I really think it's a shame that Republicans sort of are both in this kind of situation. That day, he also called Sellers and left the following message. We're all Republicans. I think we all have the same goal. Let's see if we can get this done outside of the court. Oh, what a love. The Arizona legislature. Rusty Bowers served in the Arizona legislature from 2015 until the beginning of 2023. He was elected in 2019 to a 2-year term as the House and was a Speaker of the House in 2020. Bowers reported extensive pressure to take action after the election. He noted on November 11th, 2020, quote, getting hundreds of emails demanding that I do my constitutional duty and name electors that will vote for Trump. And, quote, very strange and unsettling phone calls telling me to do my duty and vote to elect electors who will vote for Trump. On November 20th, he wrote, the situation was, quote, very stressful, attacks and tens of thousands of emails to intimidate me. Bowers received a call from the White House on November 22nd, 2020. In that call, Blank explained he understood there was a law in Arizona that would allow the legislature to meet, and if there was sufficient doubt about the legality of the election, the legislature could vote to disallow Biden's electors and put in Trump's electors. Blank alleged that Arizona had 14,000 dead people voting, 4,000 or 5,000 military ballots stolen, and 200,000 non-citizens voting. Bowers asked for evidence. Blank said he had the names and would give them the names to Bowers. On December 1st, Blank held a meeting at the Arizona legislature with 3 associates, including Blank. Also present at the meeting were several Republican legislators, including Bowers. And Blank and his team asked Bowers to hold a committee hearing on the election. When Bowers asked for any proof of election fraud, Blank said he had proof, but Blank advised that it was left back in the hotel room. Bowers left the meeting shortly thereafter. The alleged proof was never provided to Bowers because it didn't exist. Bowers issued a press release on December 4th, 2020, rebutting the allegations of election fraud. The next day he wrote, quote, threats and intimidation all day, thousands of demanding emails, everyone is a constitutional scholar, which I am not. I just will not change the rules after the people voted. On December 14th, 2020, the day the Arizona Republican electors voted, Bowers wrote, hard days, their hatred is pronounced, referring to outside emails. That was emotional. Oh, I am. To be a fly in the wall in CISA for this, I know. Oh my God, this election cycle. It sounds like a Boris, doesn't it? I feel like that sounds like a Boris. I guess there's multiple unindicted co-conspirators. I'm so confused. Okay. Blank and Kelly Ward posted on social media on December 6th the following. Oh, Jesus. Kelly says this is a 100% unnecessary, cowardly move. Do your job. Oh, Christina Bobb. She quote tweets Christina Bobb, which is amazing. AZ Speaker of the House, Rusty Bowers, has closed the AZ House for a week due to COVID. Yeah. Poor Bowers. I do remember him during that time. He really did try to speak up at the moment that it was happening. I felt like nobody was paying attention to those people. On January 4th, Bauer spoke with attorney Blank. In that conversation, Blank explained that a supermajority was not needed to convene a committee of the legislature. On January 6, 2021, Bauer spoke with an Arizona congressional representative. That representative asked Bowers to support decertification of the election. Bowers declined because he did not believe the election was fraudulent. So that must have been Fincham, I think. I bet you that was fighting Mark Fincham. He's an asshole. Governor Doug Ducey. At the end of 2020, Arizona's governor was Doug Ducey, a Republican. On the day that then Governor Ducey signed the certificate of ascertainment, which certified the vote, Governor Ducey received a call from the White House, which he did not answer. That day, Dump posted a series of tweets berating Governor Ducey for certifying the election. On the night of the certification, Blank posted on Twitter that Governor Ducey should not have certified the vote. The fake electors scheme. Discussion about using the Republican electors to change the outcome of the election began as early as November 4th, 2020. Those plans evolved during November based on memos drafted by Trump campaign attorney, unindicted co-conspirator for. As an example, the then United States Secretary of Energy. Oh, boy. I'll tell you. What's that guy's name? Rick something? Rick Perry. He really is. Rick Perry needs to go to prison for the rest of his life. He is he's got his fucking thumbs in all of this stuff. The Secretary of Energy texted Blank on November 4th saying, here's an aggressive strategy. Why can't the states of Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and other R-controlled houses declare this is a BS where conflicts and election not called that night and just send their own electors to vote and have it go to the SCOTUS? Can we just read that again? The Secretary of Energy, Rick Perry, who needs to also be in prison for the rest of his miserable fucking life, said, here's an aggressive strategy. Just declare it BS and send their own electors and have it go to SCOTUS. I don't know. I don't understand. I do not understand how you justify in your fucking head that I'm telling you, I need to stop listening to right-wing assholes because I can't take the stupid anymore on this fucking app. Between the bigots and the idiots who refuse to listen to anything approaching a fact. I want to I almost want to hold a discussion with a chud, not one of our chuds, but someone who is on that side who can talk to me about what in the fuck. Where do you read this and just say it's bullshit? Like, is every court that is bringing cases wrong? Really? I can't even understand that. Why are you so prideful that you can't admit that there are people in your midst who are corrupt? Like, so corrupt. Not even like the regular corrupt. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, who would want that? Who would want, like, if, like, this is like, you know, you cheated on, you slept with a married man, and then he says, I'm going to leave my wife and come to you. And you believe that he's not going to cheat on you? Like, how do you put all your eggs in the basket of people that are lying to you and expecting you to carry water for their lies? I don't get it. I really don't. Like, I honestly want a chud to explain that to me. Because the economy was not better under it. Stop with this fantasy that somehow life was better. It wasn't. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't. All right. Similarly, Blank received a text on November 5th that Dump should urge GOP officials in close states to expose the shenanigans and, if necessary, refuse to seat Biden electors in the event of a fake count. That same day, Dump's son texted Blank a more developed plan revolving around the electors. Let's put that motherfucker in jail, too. Quote, it's very simple. If through our lawsuits and recounts, the Secretary of State on each state cannot certify that state's vote, the state assemblies can step in and vote to put forward the electoral slate. Republicans control Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, etc. We get Trump electors. I can't. I just can't. An Arizona congressional representative similarly texted Blank on November 6, quote, I'm sure you have heard this proposal. It is to encourage the state legislators to appoint electors. That's a voice to text, I guess, in the various states where there's been shenanigans. If I understand right, most of those states have Republican legislatures. It seems to comport with glorified Bush as well as the Constitution. What? Oh, Gore v. Bush. Okay. Highly controversial. It can't be much more controversial than the lunacy that we're sitting out there now. And it would be pretty difficult because he would take governors and legislators with collective will and backbone to do that. Is anybody on the team researching and considering lobbying for that? Blank responded, I love it. I love it. Unindicted co-conspirator 4's memos and the Trump's campaign's response. So is this Cheese Bro or something? I don't know. Maybe not. Unindicted co-conspirator 4. I can't keep straight. I'm going to have to have a label. Number 4 began working as an attorney for the Trump campaign on a pro bono basis in mid-November 2020. He prepared 3 memos outlining how to use fake electors to overturn the election. Well, that's got to be Eastman. The November 18, 2020 memo, the December 6, 2020 memo, and the December 9, 2020 memo. Or maybe that's Cheese Bro. I don't know. I don't care. You guys know. Number 4 claimed that under the ECA, the electors needed to vote on December 14th, and he counted, to be counted. Stop it. Number 4 argued that if there was a pending legal challenge that could change the outcome of the election from Biden-Harris to Trump-Pence, the Republican electors were required to meet and vote on December 14, 2020. If they did not, then the vice president could not count the votes for Trump-Pence on January 6, 2021, even if Dump and Pence won a lawsuit that changed the outcome of the election. Well, when you put it like that. As support, number 4 cited the Hawaii election from 1960. Oh, such a popular recall. TBT. Their initial election results showed that Richard Nixon and Henry Cabot Lodge won the popular vote during the presidential election, defeating John Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson by just 140 votes. Nixon was certified the winner by the governor in November of 1960. A Hawaii court ordered a recount on December 13th, 1960, which was pending on December 19th, 1960, when the electors were required to meet and vote. The Nixon Lodge electors met and voted on December 19th. On that day, the Kennedy-Johnson electors also met and voted. On December 30th, 1960, Hawaii's courts determined that Kennedy-Johnson won the popular vote. The governor then certified the Kennedy-Johnson electoral votes on January 4th, 1961, and Congress received them on January 6, 1961. Nixon, who was the vice president and therefore Senate president, accepted the Kennedy-Johnson elector votes. None of number 4's memos suggested that Republican electors precisely follow what occurred in the 1960 Hawaii election. Trump-Pence had lost in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Number 4 suggested that in each of these 7 states, the Trump campaign should have the Republican electors vote on December 14th, although none had a pending recount. As it became apparent that no election challenge would succeed by January 6, number 4 departed further from the Hawaii example. Each memo is summarized below. November 18th, 2020. This 7-page memo discussed only the Wisconsin Trump-Pence electors. Cheese bro. In it, unindicted number 4, Cheese brother, concluded that the Trump-Pence electors must vote on December 14th in the event a court decision or perhaps a state legislative determination rendered after December 14th in favor of the Trump-Pence slate of electors changed the outcome of the Wisconsin election. On December 6th, the 6-page memo then argued that the Trump-Pence electors in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin should meet and vote on December 14th. It appeared to depart from the November 18th memo in parts by suggesting that only a pending lawsuit rather than a decision in favor of Trump-Pence was necessary for the vice president to reject the Biden-Harris electors on January 6. Cheesebro outlined the general procedure and the Republican electors needed to follow in voting. In the December 6 memo, Cheesebro claimed that he was, quote, not necessarily advising the course of action and that it was a, quote, bold, controversial strategy, shall we say. But then on December 9th, it came down to 5 pages, and he outlined the Electoral Count Act procedure requirements for presidential electors. It additionally discussed the state law requirements for presidential electors in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. A Wisconsin attorney working on election challenges for Trump campaign sent number 4's analysis to Trump campaign deputy manager Justin Clark on November 25th, 2020. Maybe that's cheese. I don't even know. Okay. And other campaign officials supported number 4's recommendation to have the Republican electors vote in Wisconsin. Oh, I better read. Hold on. It's a cult, I know. They're being reinforced in their beliefs by the NOC. What's the NOC? Who in their right mind would ruin their entire... Jim, this is a good point. Jim, this is the point. Where in the calculus of your life legacy do you... I know what Eastman thought. I get his pathology. Yeah, it's a very weird, very large cult. I get his pathology. Eastman thought, this is my chance to be constitutional lawyer of the year, right? This is my chance to get my parking spot at the front. That's what Eastman thought. So he really thought he could challenge the Constitution. And that was the fun for him. Let's see how fun it is from a prison cell. Or at least from the poorhouse, because he's about to lose everything. Actually, I think he's probably already lost everything. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. They believed, to have the Republican electors vote in Wisconsin because they believed the lawsuit in Wisconsin could change the outcome of Wisconsin's election. Following both the ECA and the 1960 Hawaii election models, campaign officials concluded that the Wisconsin Republican electors should vote on December 14th for Trump-Pence in the event their lawsuit succeeded. Number 4 later insisted that Clark receive a copy of the December 6 memo, writing to Wisconsin attorney, quote, I feel this memo on why it's important all electors vote in all 6 contested states should vote on December 14th should get to Justin Clark and others involved with the national strategy ASAP. A Wisconsin attorney forwarded that memo telling unindicted number 4, I have bypassed Justin and am tryouts to get it circulated at the White House. I'm trying to get it circulated at the White House. A Wisconsin attorney then sent number 4's December 6 memo to blankety blank. The memo eventually made its way to members of the Trump campaign, some who questioned number 4's plan to have the Republican electors vote in all 6 states. With the exception of Wisconsin and possibly Georgia, they concluded that there were no pending lawsuits that could change the outcome of the election in the remaining 6 states. Trump campaign officials also had general concerns about Blank's efforts. For example, advisor Jason Miller, Smoothie Boy, wrote Blank on December 6, 2020, quote, all guidance appreciated as the legal turf war thing is new to me. That's funny. Blank takes control of the fake elector scheme. Blank and his team disagreed with the others' concerns, and their effort was bolstered by Texas' decision to sue Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin on December 8, 2020 to temporarily prevent the presidential electors from voting in those states. In Texas v. Pennsylvania on December 9th, 2020, blank moved forward with having Republican electors vote in the 7 contested states, including Arizona, by writing a Wisconsin attorney in blank. Quote, question per mayor. Do you think you could prepare a sample elector ballot for Wisconsin? If so, blank then asked if number 4 would prepare sample ballots for PA, Georgia, Michigan, AZ, Nevada, and New Mexico, which was the first time New Mexico was listed for challenges. Number 4 responded, quote, oh, absolutely, and that he will, quote, do a memo on specifics of each state. By December 11th, number 4 and a Wisconsin attorney had prepared a draft press release following the Trump-Pence elector voting plan, which they emailed to blank and Joshua Finley. On December 11th, 2020, the United States Supreme Court dismissed Texas v. Pennsylvania. At that point, some Trump campaign officials determined the fake elector plan was legally unsound, but blank wanted to keep fighting. Campaign attorneys then passed everything off to unindicted number 4. Clark emailed number 4 that morning, quote, Josh has been running point on our contacts with electors. He can provide an update and hand off what he has to you this morning. Finley told number 4. Quote, it is my understanding from Rudy's team that you are now running point on this. I'm happy to hand off what has been done so far. Trump campaign officials then deferred much of the Republican elector plan to blank and number 4. Number 4 had emailed party officials in several of the contested states that he, quote, talked with Mayor Giuliani, who is focused on doing everything possible to ensure that the Trump-Pence electors vote on December 14th. Ouch. Number 4 included instructions for voting and a certificate of the vote template, concluding, pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Blank refuses to add contingency language to the Republican electors' vote certificates. During a conference call on December 12th, a Pennsylvania attorney expressed concern that the certificate of vote falsely claimed that the Republican electors were, quote, the duly elected and certified electors. He requested adding language to the certificates indicating that the Trump-Pence electors' votes were contingent on being certified the duly elected and qualified electors. Based on that call, number 4 texted blankety blank, Mike Roman. Mike Roman, I'm guessing. It's not Mike Huckabee. I think the language at the start of the certificate should be changed in all states. Let's look at the language carefully. Blank responded, I don't. I don't. That's what he sounds like, too. I don't. Oh, my God. Number 4 then offered to help with drafting in a couple of hours, but blank responded, fuck these guys. Fuck these guys. Uh-oh, we got birds. We got a bird sighting, people. We got cats on the move. Pennsylvania insisted on the language. Number 4 prepared a draft and sent blank and Finley the following email on December 13th. Mike Roman, Mike Brady, Mike the mechanic. Here is my suggested language for dealing with the concern raised in the PA conference call about the electors possibly facing legal exposure at the hands of a partisan AG or the law, either one. If they seem to certify whether they are currently the valid electors, easily fixed. It strike me that if inserting these few words is a good idea for PA, it might be worth suggesting to electors in the other states. Pennsylvania attorneys eventually added the following instruction to their elector vote. We, the undersigned, on the understanding that if, as a final result of the non-appealable court order or other proceeding prescribed by law, we are ultimately recognized as being the duly elected and qualified electors for president and vice president of the United States, blah, blah, blah. Okay. On December 12th, number 4 had prepared documents for each state except New Mexico. Blank asked number 4 to prepare New Mexico. He did, and included the drafted contingency language as follows, blank, blank, blank. Trump campaign members refused to support the fake elector scheme. Wow. The following day, Jason Miller has a conscience? No, stop it. Okay. The following day, Jason Miller texted Justin Clark, White House attorney, Eric Hirschman, I love him, and campaign communications director Tim Murtaugh. Just got a call from Rudy. He said tomorrow local councils in 4 states are filing federal cases to keep the effort going. I didn't understand the merits of cases and that the POTUS was aware of this. He said he's optimistic we win in Wisconsin state court tomorrow. He also said Boris abstain has been coordinating state elected whip efforts, and that's great. I should connect with him and Christina Bob. All I know is elective voting day. It is elective voting day, and that train you hear coming down the track isn't Burlington Northern. Murtaugh had prepared the following statement for December 14th, quote, as election contests continue in various states, the only prudent course was to have the president's electors vote in those places to preserve the campaign's rights. It was just a rights preservation move. During the text conversation, Clark responded, now, I'm not sure what Rudy is telling the president on this stuff, so I'm not sure what his expectations are. Here's the thing. The way this has morphed, it's a crazy play, so I don't know who wants to put their name on it. Referring to the statement Murtaugh prepared, Blank scheduled a conference call to discuss with Blank and others, which was shared in the text message thread, to which Hirschman responded, certifying illegal votes. Murtaugh eventually wrote that he was not comfortable putting that statement out. I can't stand by it. From the looks of it, neither can you. Clark responded, I cannot. They need to put their names on it. Rudy, Boris, and Jenna. Hirschman responded, I agree. Okay, listen. I understand, but I don't understand. If you are a lawyer and you are aware of a crime, aren't you bound as an officer of the court to not, aren't you bound not to participate, like to call it out, like to say something? Isn't that, shouldn't Hirschman lose his license? Shouldn't Patsy Baloney lose, is that not malpractice? I mean, I understand, the back and forth, but is that not malpractice? I'm looking for my legal minds. Peter Strzok book gives, I just don't like Peter Strzok. I mean, I do, but I don't know. He embraced his fame super fast. It seemed weird. See Jackson Vanik Amendment wiki articles. Oh, okay. Fact, Bush stole Gore. Yeah, totally. I agree with you easily. I remember that. It was terrible. They totally do. I want to read that. Okay, Tom, you convinced me. I want to read Peter Strzok's book. Okay. I do have, where is it? I don't know where it is, but I have, where is it? Oh, I think it's over there. Oh, yeah. Shadow Diplomacy. Okay. Sorry. I got to get through this. I'm so sorry. I keep getting, but anyway, that's my question. Isn't there a point at which lawyers have to say, no, I can't, this is actually fucking illegal, immoral, unethical, and I can't do it. What? Publicly. Why keep it private? Because that's how we get to this point where it's fucking 4 years later. And we're not even because we're so deep in the disinfo that we can't get these morons to even read a document and take it for what it's worth. Fuck. God, I feel like they already won. Jesus Christ. Stupid idiocracy in action. Okay. Yikes. Okay. Blank pressures Pence to change the vote on January 6th. On December 23rd, 2020, Blank wrote a memo laying out a scenario for January 6th. In that memo, he recommended that Pence refuse to count Arizona's certified Democratic electors because there were, quote, multiple slates. After refusing to accept the 6 other states with fake Republican electors, Pence would determine that Dump is the winner of the election because Dump would have had the majority of the remaining votes. 232 votes for Trump, 222 votes for Biden. Pence then gavels President Trump is reelected, end quote. Blank circulated a lengthier memo on January 3rd discussing the January 6th scenario and, quote, wargaming the alternatives. Blank's clear intention was to change the result of the 2020 election on January 6, writing, quote, the stakes could not be higher. Without action from Pence, Blank concluded that the sovereign people no longer control the direction of their government and will have ceased to be a self-governing people. So who was this? Wait, who was this? Is this Eastman? Who is this? I'm getting so confused with who's who, and I apologize. Blank met with Pence and members of staff on January 4th, telling Pence that he could reject electoral votes or delay the vote count. So that has to be Eastman. And asked state legislators to re-examine the election to declare a winner. Eastman needs to go to fucking prison. Like, he is a fucking evil fucking motherfucker. Pence rejected those ideas, but on January 5th, Blank again met with Pence's chief counsel, Greg Jacob, to ask Pence to reject the certified Biden-Harris electors during the counting of the electoral vote at the joint session of Congress. During that meeting, Blank admitted that his plan would lose if it went before the U.S. Supreme Court. That's Eastman. Arizona Republican electors' involvement in that fake elector scheme. On December 8th, 2020, a Wisconsin attorney sent unindicted co-conspirator number 4 and a Trump campaign staffer an email that said the Trump campaign staffer, quote, is in touch with the White House, Arizona, and PA. They are interested. I am copying them so they can work directly with you and link to the other states. That day, number 5 called number 4 and to discuss having the Arizona Republican electors vote on December 14th, prompting a Wisconsin attorney to text number 4, heard Rudy et al. Are pushing this, and you spoke to Arizona. Congratulations. Number 4 responded, hi, I talked to number 5 in Arizona and emailed him info, including a draft of the footnote explaining that both electoral slates voting is not an odd thing. He told me Rudy is really pushing this, and he was trying to understand exactly why. He asked if I talked to Rudy. I said Jim did, and also Rudy apparently read the memo. I got across that unless Arizona Trump votes are sent to Congress on time, there's no real excuse to debate Arizona. He also gets that Biden making the safe harbor doesn't prevent Congress from debating or the Senate from voting as it wants, though the Electoral Count Act obviously is politically problematic. They're talking about disenfranchising millions of voters. Millions. Tens of millions. This is so antithetical to what we are. I told him we might file in Wisconsin Supreme Court with that footnote by Saturday, which could help with messaging. Feel free to pass this on to Rudy. It sounds like the states will do this if Rudy insists, especially if the president has specifically asked Rudy to make sure this happens. If any state is uncertain, maybe a call from the president would be worthwhile. Sounds like he's really hands-on. Arizona GOP director. And I want Jason Miller. Like, I want all these motherfuckers. All of them. I want to hear everything they have to say. I'm so mad. Okay. Arizona GOP Director Gregory Safston called number 4 on December 10th to discuss the logistics of the electors voting on December 14th. That prompted number 4 to email Safston and number 5 the documents he prepared for the Arizona Republican electors. Kelly Ward organized Arizona Republican electors for December 14th and worked directly with Safston, number 4, and a Republican National Committee attorney for planning. Number 4 emailed number 5 on December 11th to confirm that he still planned to file an appeal in Ward v. Jackson, writing, reason is that Kelly Ward and number 2 just spoke to the mayor about the campaign's request that all electors vote Monday in all contested states. Ward and number 2 are concerned it could appear as treasonous to vote for the AZ electors to vote on Monday if there is no pending court proceeding that might eventually lead to the electors being ratified as the legitimate ones, which is a valid point. In the Hawaii 1960 incident, when the Kennedy electors voted, there was a pending recount. Yeah. So this is why they had all their cases too, by the way, because they thought if they could bring cases during that time, that it would help them prove that they had something that they were waiting for. Bullshit. Number 4 followed, just spoke with number 5. I no longer see cause for concern. His Supreme Court filing is at the printer. Number 5 confirmed correct. The attached are being e-filed as we speak. On December 13th, Kelly Ward sent number 4 an email with concerns that certified Democratic electors for Biden-Harris would not be voting in the state Capitol building. Number 4 responded that Arizona law did not specify a location for the vote and that voting did not need to be in the Capitol building. The Arizona Republican electors met on December 14th at the at the Arizona Republican Party headquarters, posting a picture to twitter.com, of course. The Arizona Republican electors additionally recorded themselves voting and posted the video to social media websites. prompting Kelly Ward to write, "Oh, yes, we did. We are the electors who represent the legal voters of Arizona. Trump 2020, MAGA." The Arizona Republican Party's officials, she needs to just fucking, you see, this is my thing. This is my thing. These maggots think because they have said things on TV for almost a decade and gotten away with it because the Republican GOP and the elected officials decided to go along with it, it is because of that we are here. You can't just break the fucking law. And they say these things out loud and tweet them and go on each other's shows and talk about them because they know they have a willing audience that has already bought what they're selling. They don't need facts. They don't need details. All they need is a gateway pundit story that is bullshit, and that to them is evidence. This is crazy. This is an emergency. Okay. The Arizona Republican Party's official statement was largely copied from a template that number 4 and a Wisconsin attorney prepared for all states. The party claimed it was following what happened in 1960 in Hawaii until there was a, quote, final resolution of Arizona's electoral votes. In late December 2020, the Trump campaign had Pennsylvania attorney Bruce Marks and Blank file an appeal to the United States Supreme Court regarding Pennsylvania's election in Trump v. Bukvar. I don't know how to say that. Bakvar? Following that decision, Marks emailed a Wisconsin attorney, quote, "The campaign wants us to work together with Professor Eastman to file an Article 2. Oh, I guess that was an article. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Cert position from Wisconsin. Related to that discussion, Marks emailed number 5 asking questions about his Supreme Court appeal in Ward v. Jackson. That prompted number 5 to respond, "Also, just FYI, I recall now that there was a rush to file our petition in order to give legal cover for the electors in AZ to vote on the 14th. That discussion is below, as well as number 4's comments on the petition." Marks responded by questioning how Ward v. Jackson would change the outcome of the election. Even if the court erred in not allowing further examination, what is the argument that reason further discovery would have led to changing the election if the error rate is 2%, the higher number, and the ballots at issue is 450,000? The petition does not argue that these ballots, 9,000 at my estimate, were improperly counted for Biden when they should have been counted for Trump. Thanks. We are trying to understand this in formulating the Supreme Court strategy. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, I'm back. Uh-oh. Where'd I go? How'd I leave? Out of range. Oh, bye, Tom. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Let's see. D. Okay. All 11 Arizona Republican electors, Kelly Ward and all these morons, joined then Texas Congressional Representative Louis Gohmert. Hello, Louis Gohmert. Suing Pence on December 27, 2020. Their complaint alleged that, quote, Gohmert will object to the counting of Arizona electors for Biden as well as to the Biden electors from the remaining contested states. The plaintiffs attempted to have the court declare that Pence could, quote, exercise the exclusive authority and sole discretion in determining which electoral votes to count for a given state. That's so fucking dumb. Kelly Ward explained the purpose of the suit on Twitter. Of course she did. Friendly in that we are the same political party, but know this. We are suing VP Pence to ensure that he understands that he has the power to do this constitutional duty on January 6th, and we expect him to do it. That's it. That's what she sounds like, I think, in my head. In addition to their lawsuit against Pence, other Arizona Republican electors made statements directly contradicting any intention that their votes would only be used if they succeeded in a legal challenge that changed the outcome of Arizona's election. The day before voting as a Republican elector, Kelly Ward posted to Twitter indicating that her goal was to have the Arizona legislature certify the fake Republican electors' votes. Will they? Philip Klein says the Constitution is clear. The power to send the electors lies with the state legislature, not with the executives or their subordinates, and not with the judiciary. Non-delegation principles need to be restored, starting in the states. And Kelly Ward quotes that and says, will they? On December 15th, Kelly Ward posted a video explaining why she and the other, quote, true electors had voted for dump on December 14th. She stated, quote, we believe that we are the electors for the legally cast votes here in Arizona. Do you now? Do you do it from prison? Leading up to January 6th, Kelly Ward continued calling for the Arizona legislature to change the outcome of the election. She published Pence's January 6th letter explaining that he would accept the certified Democratic electors for Biden-Harris on January 6th and wrote, pray that VP Mike Pence doesn't send our republic to its demise, crashing and burning into socialism, communism, and tyranny. Later that day, she thanked Arizona congressmen for objecting to Arizona's certified Democratic electors' votes during the joint session of Congress. And when Congress adjourned because the January 6 rioters breached the Capitol, she wrote, quote, Congress is adjourned. Send the elector choice back to the legislatures. Wow, what a bitch. Tyler Bauer made public statements demonstrating the contingency plan was cover for his attempt to change the outcome of the election. On November 27th, he wrote, Biden cheated, and Americans deserve the true election results. On December 15th, after voting for Trump-Pence, Bauer wrote, quote, this just gives potential ground to not accept electors from states with competing electors. Bauer, after Gohmert v. Pence was filed, posted to Twitter, it's pretty simple. The President of the United States Senate, VP, has the awesome power of acknowledging a specific envelope of electoral votes when there are two competing slates. Or none at all. What, is that what he said? Or none at all? The 12th Amendment covers dispute resolution when it occurs in the House of something, reps. He followed with, we don't live in a democracy. The presidential election isn't democratic. So there. Oh, here's my favorite. Jacob Hoffman. Hoffman signed the fake December 14th joint resolution of the 54th legislature, declaring that the legislature is required to exercise its best judgment as to which slate of electors the voters prefer, and requesting that the alternate 11 electoral votes be accepted for Donald Trump, or to have all electoral votes nullified completely until a full forensic audit can be conducted. On January 5th, Hoffman sent a letter to Pence asking him to, quote, delay the certification of the election results and instead seek clarification from the Arizona legislature as to which slate of presidential electors are proper and accurate. Hoffman was later interviewed by a reporter on January 11th. When asked about voting as an elector, he responded, in unprecedented times, unprecedented. In unprecedented times, unprecedented action has occurred. So there is no case law, there's no precedent that exists as to whether or not an election that is currently being litigated in the courts is due standing, which is why we felt it appropriate to provide Congress and the Vice President with dueling opinions. They're merely opinions. Now for Anthony Kern. On December 15th, Kern was interviewed by a reporter for the Epoch Times. Precious. He was asked about the Republican electors voting on December 14th, and he responded, so yesterday, as you know, December 14th, the electors cast their vote for the presidential elect in Arizona and several other states. The Biden electors voted for Biden, and the Trump electors at the same time voted for President Trump. So both those slates of electors went to the Capitol, and on January 6th, Vice President Mike Pence gets a choice on which electors he's going to choose, and I'm almost positive that on January 6th they're going to be a contested electoral process, and if that's contested, there's going to be a debate, and once there's a debate, they're going to come back and vote, and it's going to be just a nice constitutional lesson for all America to see. On December 17th, 2020, Kern posted on social media, quote, I'm calling on Speaker Bowers and Doug Ducey to call an emergency session to decertify the Biden electors. Then I want a grand jury convened based on the evidence brought to light today. The coup cannot hide in the darkness. He later suggested that Americans call or email certain U.S. senators and ask to object to the Biden electoral ballots. And he falsely claimed on December 31st that a majority of legal Arizona voters choose Donald Trump for a second term. J6 do not certify. On January 5th, wow, he was prolific. He was very prolific. Oh, hi, Scott. Oh, welcome. Love the lurk. I love the lurk. Samuel Moorhead. On June 18th, Moorhead wrote on Twitter.com because let's just tell everybody what we're doing. We're not naughty boys and girls. No, no, no. We need to take some action about the 2020 election. I advocate in AZ, the Arizona legislature, decertify the state of Biden electors and certify the slate of Trump electors. I would hate to go to my grave knowing the electoral vote I cast was not counted. Well, guess what? You're about to. And not only that, you're going to go to prison. Oh my God. Say it ain't so, Joe. Yes, Sam Moorhead. You're number one, you're going to get all your wishes. Your electoral vote will not be counted, and you will go to your grave. Okay. Michael Ward. Before voting as a fake elector, oh boy, Mike Ward, Boynton Kelly Ward, the mister, he went to Washington, D.C., where he posted a picture of Kelly talking to Dump. Oh, look, she's talking to Dump. Following his vote on December 14th, Michael Ward posted to Facebook.com, proud to cast my vote today as one of Arizona's 11 legitimate electors for President Donald J. Trump. I love it when they just crime in the open. I love it. I love it. Love it. Go to prison. As late as May 2022, Michael Ward continued to reinforce that the election was stolen, writing on Twitter, "Hey, J6, F you." Nice. As of May 2022. Fuck you, Michael Ward, and your stupid bitch wife. Based on the above and other information reviewed, defendants and their unindicted co-conspirators deceived the public with false claims of election fraud in order to prevent the lawful transfer of the presidency, to keep Dumpy in office against the will of Arizona's voters and deprive Arizona voters of their right to vote and have their votes counted. By sending in false electoral votes, they obtained a benefit under Arizona law by creating the opportunity for Pence to reject the legitimate certified Democratic elector votes for Biden-Harris and declare Dumpy the winner of the 2020 presidential election. Pursuant to all this shit, the state grand jurors found that the offenses described above were committed in Maricopa County, Arizona. A true bill. Way to go, everybody. Way to go. All right. We did it. Way to go. Legitimate. There's nothing legitimate about these people. Hi, Siegfried. Lurk away, lurk away. We could have already lost. Yeah. I know. I'm curious. When, I guess, is it June when they come out with their immunity decision? Did I hear that right? Maybe I heard that wrong. Maybe I heard that wrong. The cost of coffee. I've heard that before. The cost of coffee. And my coffee is always like, I love the coffee that I drink. And so I spend money on that. I believe that stuff you put in your body, you should try and... Yeah, she's indicted. Oh, yeah. She's top of the list. She is top of the fucking list. Oh. I need a shower. I need to take a shower. Anyway. The other thing I kind of wanted to look at, although I don't know if I have time to look at it this morning. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow morning. If we don't have any court. I don't think we have anything going on this week, court-wise or Congress-wise. Am I wrong? I think that's true. I don't think we have anything happening. Number one, I'm going to finish the book this week. Democracy Awakening. We have 3 more chapters, like 30 more pages. So I'm going to make sure we do that. And I want to read the Nauta thing. I know it's long and it's redacted and pretty much you've all gotten the headlines out of it, but I haven't for myself. So I might need to schedule something to read that as well. Yeah. And then, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on this week, actually. I want to get out. I want to do some protesting with the streaming platform. I think I want to go to, I'm going to find Amazon, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to go yet, but I'm going to think about that. Protest the Flynn movie. Did that fall over? Oh my God. Hold on. All right. I'll get it after I'm done. Okay. So I'm going to close this off here so that we keep it to one document. And I don't know what's going to happen this week. I'm so sorry. I haven't planned a lot of, I want to be on this week and bring stuff to you and read some documents if we don't have events that we actually need to keep in whatever. You were blown away when, oh, I know. Yeah. I just, the thing is they, nobody, I don't know. I don't know. I wish we could talk about, I wish that we could get to a place where if you see it in a court document or something, you can at least have a calm conversation and not immediately say, oh, May, June. Yeah, I think they come out with their decisions in May or June, which will be interesting, I think. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave you for your Monday, the rest of your Monday. Thank you for coming to this episode of Daily Down Lolo. Little media literacy for us all to read the Arizona indictment. We did it. I probably confused everyone because I don't know who all the unindicted co-conspirators are, so I apologize profusely. Is everybody here Ultra MAGA? Everybody where? What do you mean here? Define here. Define here. Yeah, I don't know. I hope not. No, I don't think so. I don't think everybody's Ultra MAGA. I think I watch too many Ultra MAGA people. That's for sure. That's a me problem. I got to stop doing that. I got to start doing something else. Actually, I gotta set up that goddamn singing thing so I can record. I just have to record those things. God, I have something I gotta record. I mean, Oomp's been waiting for me to, well, not waiting, but you know what I mean. Oh, no problem. Kelly Ward. Kelly in AZ. Oh, no. Oh, everybody in this document? I don't know. Kelly Ward is definitely Ultra MAGA. Kelly Ward is 100% Ultra MAGA. And there are a few names on there that I would say are totally Ultra MAGA. But they don't believe what they don't believe it. They just wanted to power grab. I think Dump made stupid people feel like they could be famous. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I think that Dump made stupid, mediocre people feel like they could be somebody. Does that make sense? So, because if you really took stock of like the Republican stars of this shit show, they're pretty stupid. They're pretty not they're not like brilliant people. There was a clip of her at a rally. I know. I have a clip of her at a thing from like 2021. Maybe 2020. Can't remember. I watched her a couple times. Kelly is a real piece of work. God. Ward said they're the MAGA Mafia. Oh, she said they're the MAGA Mafia. I don't even think that's true. They're so fucking ham-handed. Like, who does this? You know what they... Orange Mafia. It's a good one, Paul. You know what they could do? They could figure out... Like, they could have done all this behind the scenes. Like, so much more quietly. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be proven right about this. No one's going to care, but it doesn't matter. I'll care. I am telling you right now, as God is my witness, these people believe, because they've been in their own right-wing echo media chamber, it's because they go on all this media shit, right? They actually start to believe their lies, and they think they've convinced everyone that, when, you know what I mean? Like if they say the same thing they said on Steve Bannon in a court of law, I shit you not. I heard it in the Eastman disbarment, in the Clark disbarment. I've heard these guys on the stand, and they literally talk as if, as the same way they might on Rumble, you know, maybe a little less insulting or whatever, but they will say the same shit they say on Rumble in a fucking court of law. I shit you not. You're going to hear it. When we finally get to Georgia, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear them, and you're going to be like, why did they think anyone was going to believe that? It's going to be crazy. I promise you. If you didn't watch the disbarments, you're in for a fucking mind fuck like you've never seen before. Because these people will tell you the same shit, and they will sit on a fucking stand in front of a judge and expect people to believe it. All the data guys, all the election fraud sniffer outers, all those fucking pricks. Every time one of them's hauled up on the stand, they're discredited, debunked, humiliated. With good reason. So it's you think it's crazy so far? Wait till Georgia starts. Wait till Sidney Powell's antics. Wait till all that shit comes like in clearer relief. It's going to be crazy. It'll be wild. It'll be wild. It's insane. It is insane. Anyway, all right. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate that. It really only hits them when they're actually, well, it's hitting Smeagol right now. Peter Navarro just lost his Supreme Court case, so he has to sit his baby fucking ass in jail. That's right. Sorry, Charlie. And sometimes not even then. Yeah. See Peter Navarro. I don't know. They'll write the book. That's what pisses me off. They'll write the book. They'll make their money. Even if they do a little time, they'll make their money. And that's really disheartening. But whatever. Here we are. I don't know why Trump didn't write a book. Why didn't he write a book? Like, wouldn't that make a lot of money? I guess they don't read. His voters don't read. He's better off with coins and bobbleheads and Melania's necklaces. She must be taking that money though, right? Like that must be all her money. Anyway. Okay. All right. I promise I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Wait, do I have a good sound for this? I don't know. I don't really like all my... Oops. I'm not sure. But make sure you check your voter registration. And he is in prison, but he was suing the Supreme Court and NFTs. That's right. You get an NFT with it. Yeah, he was suing at the Supreme Court for something, and he lost today. As he should. As he should. As he should. All right. Okay, well, I will see you all later. have a wonderful day. I'm going to send you out with a little rock and roll just to kind of juice up your Monday morning. So if you're sleeping, you might want to wake up now before I actually turn the music on. And I will see you on the Twitter, and then also I will put up some shows for this week as soon as I figure out exactly what's happening. But I'll definitely be on this week, even though we may not have congressional, because I got a lot of stuff to read. I got to read that NAUTA thing, so I'm gonna have to read the NAUTA. Lee, hello. Definitely a good time of year to check your voter registration now as we get into season. But also, so I will put more notifications on for shows. I just need to figure out what exactly is happening this week. I just can't seem to find much going on. I feel like everybody's on spring break or whatever that is. But yeah, take good care, everyone, and be good to each other. And yeah, okay. I'll see you later.
I'll see you later. Bye. Happy Monday. Bye.
The NAUTA thing.